بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي أما بعد. All praise due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and peace be upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I testify that there is no God except Allah, and I testify that Muhammad is the Prophet and the Messenger of Allah. It's good to see all the brothers, obviously the sisters being around. It's been a while they haven't been here, from Hajj and before Hajj. And it's good to see the brothers who are with us at Hujjaj, like the Hujjaj and the brothers who are with us at Hajj, a lot of baldy heads. Yallah, alhamdulillah, slowly the hairs are growing. And some of you probably take it as a trend now, so they don't want to let their hair grow anymore, so they want to continue shaving it. Yallah khair, inshallah. So inshallah, a special welcome for all those brothers who went to Hajj, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from them and the sisters obviously. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the Hajj Mabrur, and for those who didn't get the chance to visit or go to Hajj this year, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant them the opportunity next year, inshallah. Inshallah, brothers and sisters, I'll continue with what I left you with about 2 months ago when we're talking about, and we were on the topic of Riyadh al-Salihin. And this great book that's been published and written by a great scholar, Imam al-Nawawi. And what Imam al-Nawawi did, he compiled very important ahadith. So in his own view, the most important ahadith being compiled before him, he went and compiled the more important ahadith and put them together in one book called Riyadh al-Salihin. Riyadh al-Salihin means the corner of the righteous. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from amongst those who are righteous. And previously we've covered 27 chapters. Tonight inshallah we shall cover the 28th chapter and the 29th chapter. And inshallah I want to talk about covering the faults of the Muslims and fulfilling the needs of other Muslims. And once again, as I mentioned, what Imam al-Nawawi did, in his point of view, he compiled and put together in his book the most important ahadith that he sees are very important for every Muslim in their day-to-day life. And I do find this book a very important book, and you find a lot of the scholars use this book, especially for your daily activities. So it's your day-to-day life, what you need as a Muslim from the morning to the evening, even in the evening what you need as a Muslim. So you find in this book, Imam al-Nawawi covered that. And inshallah we hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the strength to continue covering those topics, which are very important topics. Once again tonight, inshallah, I want to cover 2 chapters, very small chapters. The first one is in the 28th chapter, which is covering the faults of other Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in the Qur'an al-Kareem, verily those who like the crime of illegal sexual intercourse should be propagated among those who believe they will have a painful torment in this world and the hereafter. So those who are propagating evilness, and not only that, uncovering on others, like to expose others, which is an illness that's widespread in mankind, whether Muslims or non-Muslims. It's in our nature that we like to put people down and disgrace people down. It's our nature. Especially when we have weak iman and we are less observant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we like to put other people down. We always like to be the best. And how do we become the best? In 2 ways. One, that we try and achieve to be the best. The other, when we are failures and lose, sometimes we are failures, and not only the unsuccessful people, losers, we try and put other people down. So there's 2 ways of people trying to achieve and always being the best and always presenting themselves to be the best. One, that you're really the best. You really achieve good things in life. And that's why you present yourself with your achievements. But not everyone achieves well in life, so what do they do in return? They start putting other people down. So for me to stand out in front of other people, for me to look better than others, the best formula for me and the easiest way is to start putting people down. And that's a disease that's widespread. Not only amongst the non-religious people, but even amongst the religious people. We always tend to put other people down just to look better than them. We're not better than them. And we haven't achieved in life for us to present ourselves or for us to boast about our achievements. But the best way for us to show ourselves that we are better than others by putting them down. And that's where hasad comes in. And that's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he called it the shaver. He called the hasad the shaver. When we shave the hair with those butchers in Hajj, okay, when we shave the hair, what happened? The shaver removed all the hair. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam resembles hasad to a shaver. But what does it shave? It doesn't shave hair, it shaves away your hasanat. Envy shaves away your hasanat the way one of you shaves their hair. Or in another hadith, in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, envy destroys and eats away your hasanat the way fire eats timber. So it's important that we don't fall into that sickness. And many times we probably do fall into it without us realizing, trying to put other people down by exposing their faults. When my duty as a Muslim, I need to cover on people, not to uncover on people. Here in the first hadith, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال لا يستر عبد عبدا في الدنيا إلا ستره الله يوم القيامة. Nice hadith, narrated by Imam Muslim. Any servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that covers on another servant of Allah azza wa jalla in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself will cover upon them in the hereafter. So when you cover upon your Muslim brother in this dunya, when you cover upon your Muslim sister in this dunya, Allah will cover upon you in the hereafter. But when you want to uncover on them, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says in the next hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expose him in front of everyone in the hereafter. And the last thing that you want is that Allah himself exposes you in the hereafter. And before the hereafter, there's a big possibility that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expose you in this dunya before the hereafter. That's why my brother and my sister, we shouldn't fall into this illness and sickness of trying to put people down by trying to uncover their faults, even though we know their faults. Litsa, I know their faults, and it's 100% correct. Because you've got two types of people. One person that uncovers people's faults, and it's true. This person did really do this, and they try and uncover it. So they go and expose them. But the other people try and lie just to put them down. And that's even worse than the first one. Because not only are you uncovering them, but you're also lying and making fabrication and lies upon them. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, whoever covers, any servant of Allah azza wa jalla that covers anything upon someone in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cover upon him in the hereafter. But the difference between you covering upon someone with your bit of sympathy and bit of mercy in your heart, there's a big difference between your mercy and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. Maybe because of this good deed of yours that you covered upon someone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you in the hereafter and make it into the Jannah. Maybe because of that. Maybe because of that one good deed that you did, that you knew something about someone and you refused to uncover and expose them in this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you in the hereafter. So it's something that's very honorable. It's a good character. Not wallahi, the character of always knowing something about someone you have to go and tell the whole world. Because these are the characters that we find that's widespread amongst us. And I'm not here talking about just non-Muslims. Muslims and non-Muslims. Religious and non-religious. Even amongst religious people, we use that as a mean to put down other organizations or other imams or other sheikhs. So we use uncovering what you know about another imam, what you know about another sheikh, what you know about another religious person, just to put them down just because they're not part of your ideology or not part of your center or not part of your organization. So it's very sad. And it's a disease, an ugly disease. So once again, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, whoever covers up on someone in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cover up for them in the hereafter. But Allah's cover up in the hereafter, what is it? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exposes a lot of people in the hereafter. But Allah's cover up in the hereafter is Allah's rahmah and forgiveness upon you, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you and make you enter the Jannah just because of that good deed that you did in this dunya. They refuse to uncover on someone. You refuse to uncover over something that you knew just because you fear Allah Azza wa Jal. In the next hadith, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says that if someone wants to uncover a fault or follow the faults of another Muslim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expose him and Allah Azza wa Jal will embarrass him even though he's sitting in the middle of his own house. Wallahi, it's a disease. So not only that you have people who want to uncover what they know about other people, But also you have people who want to follow the traces of the faults and the defects of other people. So I know this guy, and because he's successful, by the way, people only want to uncover on successful people. And subhanAllah, that's what comes with success, by the way. This is the package that you carry when you're a successful person, or when you're a famous person, or you're a respected person. People want to try and take you down. So what people do is they start following your faults. They start tracing your faults. And what we've got these days, what do we have? Facebook. So, okay, I know this thing about this person, let me get into their Facebook, befriend them, and start exposing their photos, and start exposing what you know about them, and start exposing everything that you know about them. That's not the character of a mu'min. A mu'min does not uncover. A mu'min does not uncover upon anyone else. Even if it's a non-Muslim, by the way. Here, we're not just talking about a Muslim covering up upon a Muslim. No, no, no. Even upon non-Muslims. Because it's not my character as a Muslim. My character is to cover up upon people. Someone might ask and they say, but you know what, but this person is so bad. This person is so dirty. This person is so evil. And it's causing harm. If this person is causing harm, then that's a different case. Like for example, you've got a drug dealer that goes around and sells drugs and harming our children. This person needs to be exposed. We're talking about someone that's harming himself. Or maybe harming himself or someone else, and that's it. And these two people know about themselves. So there's no need for us to go and uncover their secrets or uncover their faults, because that's not my character as a believer. My character, what Allah Azza wa Jalla wants from me, is to cover up on them. Only if these people are spreading harm. If they are spreading harm, then I go and uncover what these people are spreading harm. But I only uncover what needs to be uncovered. So for example, if I know this person is a drug dealer, then I go and uncover that this person is a drug dealer. At the same time, I know that this person has issues with his wife. I don't need to go and uncover that. That's got nothing to do with drug dealing. Okay, this person is causing harm with his drug dealing. It's got nothing to do with me knowing that this person has issues with his wife. But because I've got this thing against this person, so what do? I go and open all these things about this person and uncover everything about him. That's wrong. You only uncover what you need to uncover. That also goes back to when someone comes and asks you for an advice. And such an advice is that I want to ask you about this person for my daughter. What do you know about him? So you've got this, and you probably have this experience or this encounter where someone wants to ask you your opinion over someone that you know. And you really know this person, and they ask you, what do you think about this person? Well, you are a trusted person now. Al-Mustashar Mu'taman. You are entrusted to give your opinion over this person, but your opinion must be limited, not too open. So for example, you only need to give what this person needs to know. I get someone who's approaching me, a father asks me about this person. Well, if I know something bad about this person, then I need to say what this father needs to know. Not more than that. I shouldn't go into so much depth and start exposing everything about this person, things that has nothing to do with the actual relevant topic that this person is asking about. In Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, كل أمتي معافى إلا المجاهرون وإن من المجاهرة أن يعمل الرجل بالليل عملا ثم يصبح وقد ستره الله عليه فيقول يا فلان عملت البارحة كذا وكذا وقد بات يستره ربه ويصبح يكشف ستر الله عليه. متفق عليه. In Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in this hadith, he says that my entire nation, my entire followers are forgiven and pardoned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except those who expose their open wrongdoings. Okay, so Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam calls them al-mujahara or mujahirun. Who's al-mujahara, or what's al-mujahara, or who is al-mujahirun? Al-mujahirun, those who expose their evilness. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered something on them. Allah Azza wa Jalla covered her up on them. And then they go and expose their own bad deeds. Here Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam continues to talk, and in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam illustrates to us, or explains to us exactly who is the mujahir. Who's this person that exposes their own evil deeds? In Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, he is that man, he's that person that does evilness at night, and no one knows about it. It's just between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this could be it could be you. This person could be you. You are one of those people. Could be me. I could be one of those people that did something wrong at night. At night, no one knows about it. Or maybe it could even be done during the day. No one knows about it except me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I committed a sin at night, I committed a sin during the day that no one knows of except me and Allah Azza wa Jal. And days went past. The following day went past. No one knows about it. You know why? Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw it and Allah Azza wa Jal knew about it, Allah did not expose me. But what do? I go and expose myself. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, my entire nation is pardoned and forgiven except al-mujahirun. Who are the mujahirun? Those who commit the sins at night and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had covered that upon them. Then the following night or the following day, they get up and start exposing their own sin, their own wrongdoings, and start telling other people about what they did that night after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really covered that upon them. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, this man slept that night and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered it on him. But then he went himself and went and exposed himself. This is a mujahid, someone that does not even deserve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness or pardon. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all forgiving. And Allah is the most forgiving. And Allah pardons. And Allah can pardon this person even after what he did. But you are the type of person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not expose your sins, even though no one knows about it except you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yet, you decided to go and expose your own sins. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered it up on you, you went and uncovered it on yourself. That's a mujahir. A mujahir. Someone who exposes his own sins after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered it up on them. Okay, you fell in a sin, no worries. It is a worry, okay? But you fell in a sin. And it's between you and Allah. Leave it between you and Allah. And deal with it between you and Allah. And know that Allah will forgive you. But the worst part of it is that after Allah had covered it on you, you yourself go and expose yourself and cover it on yourself. So after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered it up on you, you yourself decided to go and expose yourself and start telling people about it as if you are boasting about disobeying Allah Azza wa Jal. You are the worst of people if you do that. Subhanallah, something between you and Allah, keep it between you and Allah, Allah will forgive. What happens in the hereafter? In Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call upon one of his servants and Allah will bring him forward. And Allah will cover. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cover upon him. How does Allah cover upon him? There's different narrations, interpretations from the scholars. Allah will cover upon him that Allah Azza wa Jal would not allow the rest of mankind to hear the conversation between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah Azza wa Jal will say to his servant, oh my servant, you did such and such. You did that sin on that day, during that night. And you thought no one was watching you. And I am your Lord, I was watching you and I recorded that upon you. So this servant of Allah, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, he starts to turn right and left. He looks towards his right and left, thinking that Allah Azza wa Jal had exposed him. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had covered it upon him all these years and all these decades. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to him, oh my servant, don't worry. I covered it. I covered it upon you in your dunya. And today, from my mercy, I forgive you. So go to the Jannah. Allahu Akbar. How forgiving is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this servant of Allah, what did he do? He kept it between him and Allah. He didn't go around and expose his evil doings and his wrongdoings to the rest of mankind or to the rest of the people. He didn't go around and boast about it. You know, yesterday I did this and I did that. And how common is this? Oh, you know, yesterday I did this. And yesterday I went there. And yesterday I grabbed this and I grabbed her and I grabbed him and I done that and I done this. And he's so happy about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not even expose you and he is the Lord of the universe. Why do you go and expose yourself for? After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered it on you. And if it wasn't for your bad mouth, no one would even know about it. But you're the one who went and exposed it. So not only that you did not even care about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala watching you, you did not even care about the rest of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala watching you. So what kind of a person are you? Because sometimes you are bound to fall into a sin. But you keep it between you and Allah. Ya Allah, I'm weak. And just between me and you. And the reason you didn't go and expose yourself is because you know that you've done something wrong. But this person that went and started to expose himself, he doesn't really acknowledge, or she doesn't really acknowledge it, that they did something wrong. It's like they're really happy about it, they boast about it. But that person that did something wrong and kept it between him and Allah Azza wa Jal, and refused to expose that to the rest of the people, he refused to uncover this to the rest of the mankind, he's got this guilt inside him that, you know what, I'm so bad, I feel so bad about it that I don't even want to tell anyone else. I just want to keep it between me and Allah. That's why Allah will forgive you. But that person that went out there and started to uncover it, and that person went out there and started to boast about it, this person has no care. This person has no heart. This person is ruthless. This person is emotionless. So he not only that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered on him, but he went through and cracked through the cover of Allah and started to boast about it, and he started to expose himself to other people. That's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, my entire nation is forgiven and pardoned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except those who expose their own sins. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered it on them, they go and expose their own sins. And for that, my brothers and my sisters, again, we do fall into sins. We do fall into sins. As perfect as we think we are, we do fall into sins, whether it's minor or major. Keep it between you and Allah will forgive you. But don't get out there with pride and arrogance that you did this and you did that, knowing that Allah Azza wa Jalla had already watched you. And if you don't fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you're not embarrassed from Allah, be embarrassed from the creation of Allah. Because embarrassment, as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, إِذَا لَمْ تَسْتَحِي فَاصْنَعْ مَا شِئْتَ. If you're not embarrassed, then go and do whatever you want. Because the core element of stopping you from committing a sin in many occasions is embarrassment. A bit of shyness. When the embarrassment and shyness is taken away from your heart and your mind, then as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, go and do whatever you want. What makes people do whatever they want? What makes people do any sort of sin or any sort of haram? It's because their shyness and embarrassment is taken out of their hearts. And that's why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was described to be as shy as a virgin female. That's how shy he was sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when it came to courage and bravery, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the greatest warrior. He was always in the forefront. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was always in the forefront, in the front line, and did not hesitate. That's the character of the believer. In the other hadith, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, أتى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أو أتي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم برجل قد شرب خمرا قال اضربوه قال أبو هريرة فمنا الضارب بيده والضارب بنعله والضارب بثوبه فلما انصرف قال بعض القوم جزاك الله قال لا تقول هكذا قال صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تقول هكذا لا تعين عليه الشيطان. Subhanallah. Beautiful wise words from a beautiful wise Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Abu Hurairah narrates, he says that during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, a man was brought to the Prophet alayhi salatu wa sallam who drank alcohol. A man drank alcohol, and the punishment, the penalty of someone drinking alcohol is to be lashed 40 lashes. That's obviously during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when there's an Islamic state. So if you know one of your mates or one of your close friends when they drank alcohol, don't go break down the door on them and go and lash them. That's only when there's an Islamic state and there's a judge that makes that decision. You're not the judge. Even if you're an Islamic state, you can't even apply and you can't go ahead and just apply that law. You have to go through the judge. And we heard about the incidents that took place here not long ago. A few brothers, maybe they were sincere about it, but they weren't because one of the brothers drank alcohol. They wanted to apply the had, the penalty upon him. You can't apply the penalty even if you are living in the presence of Abu Bakr and Umar and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can't. There's got to be a law. There's a judge. He is the one that applies the law. You can't take the law in your hands. So here a man was brought to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and drank alcohol. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam decided to apply the penalty upon him. And the penalty was 40 lashes. So Abu Hurairah said that people start to lash him, some people start to lash him, some people start to lash this person, start to lash him with their hands, others with their shoes, others with their garment, until they lashed him 40 times. Then when the lashing finished, some of the Sahaba said to him, Akhzak Allah, may Allah disgrace you. So they made dua against him. And obviously sometimes when you see someone do something wrong, especially when you take a hard line or you're so upset and you're emotional, you start making dua. Sometimes the mother and the father make dua upon their children when they're emotionally hurt. So the Sahaba start to make dua upon this man. And he's a companion, by the way, that drank alcohol. He's a companion, like he's a Muslim. And since he's a Muslim and embraced Islam and he lived during the time of the Prophet ﷺ and saw the Prophet ﷺ, then he is a Sahabi. So after the Sahaba lashed this companion that committed a crime by drinking alcohol, they said, may Allah disgrace you. So what did the Prophet ﷺ say? Like, I want you to picture yourself in a situation like that, where somewhere during the time of the Prophet ﷺ and one of the Sahaba, one of the people amongst us did a crime, and then we lashed him, and after that one of the guys around us says, may Allah destroy you. May Allah disgrace you. And these days, that's how we have it these days. Like if someone sees something wrong, oh, may Allah destroy you, may Allah curse you, may Allah ruin you, may Allah this, may Allah that. So what do you think the reaction of the Prophet ﷺ would be? Did the Prophet ﷺ have a nice smile on his face and he said, good, that's what he deserves. He deserves even worse than that. And Nabi ﷺ refused that, and Nabi ﷺ condemned that, and he said, no, no, no. Don't make dua on your brother. Why allow the shaitan to get the most out of him? Why allow the shaitan to get the best out of him? Don't let the shaitan support him. You should be his support. If your brother is doing something wrong, and your brother has downfalls, then you should be supporting your brother rather than you turning against your brother, even if your brother did something wrong. So the attitude towards someone who is a sinner, the attitude towards someone who does something wrong is not always putting them down, disgracing them, humiliating them. That's not the attitude of a believer. On the contrary, yes, we condemn their evil action. And yes, we condemn what they did. We get against what they did, but at the same time we try and support them and take them out of their evilness. Not to dig up a deeper hole and let them fall into it. As the Prophet Muhammad said, لا تعين عليه الشيطان. Don't let shaitan get the most out of him. Don't let the shaitan get the most out of him and let the shaitan take advantage of him. Get him closer. Maybe it should be the reason that you got this person to the right path. SubhanAllah, this is the character of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is what we learn from the character of the Prophet alayhi wasallam, the best of characters, the best of people sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The way sallallahu alaihi wasallam dealt with everyone, even the sinners, even the criminals, even the enemies. You will never ever see someone dealing with someone, even his own enemies, the way the Prophet ﷺ dealt with his people. He dealt with them with respect because he's a prophet. And how many people from his own enemies embraced Islam, became the biggest supporters of the Prophet ﷺ. When they saw the character of the Prophet ﷺ in dealing with his enemies, they realized this is not the character of a normal human being. This is a character of a prophet. This is a character of a messenger. And for that, my brother and my sister, we should be the people that cover upon people, not uncover upon people. We should be the people that do not expose other people's sins, other people's faults. Because what goes around, comes around. And if you want to expose other people's faults and shortcomings, then one day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send someone upon you that will uncover your own faults and your own sins. Faults and sins that you thought no one will know of, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uncovered them. And subhanallah, you see amongst the politicians, they've got this attitude of always trying to take down each other. And then subhanallah, it's only a matter of days, or it's only a matter of time, where things just twist. The tide turns around, and then the same thing that they're trying to take other people down on, it goes on them. Subhanallah. Because that's the attitude. Obviously that's politics amongst them. It's not like it's our character. But even if I'm involved in politics, I should even have that character of trying to take people down. If I know something of someone else, unless this person is bringing harm upon the community, then this person needs to be exposed. But if this person is not bringing harm upon the community, it's something between him and Allah Azza wa Jal, they keep it between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because what you keep between him and Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah will keep it between you and him. Always remember that. I don't want to go and expose him because Allah will expose me. I want to cover up on them because Allah will cover up on me. That's the attitude that we need to have. Not always going around, oh alhamdulillah, I managed to get something on them. You know, amongst the politicians, they've got people who are specialized just digging up dirt on other people. That's it, just to take them down. Now obviously, they do not abide by the Islamic ethics or Islamic code. But this is our character as Muslims. We shouldn't have that. Even to non-Muslims, even to the worst of people. We don't get around and expose other people's sins, expose other people's faults, expose other people's wrongdoings. That's not our character as a believer. I'm beyond that. I'm bigger than that as a Muslim. Which brings us to the 29th chapter, and inshallah I'll be quick with that. Fulfilment of the needs of the Muslims. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, المسلم أخو المسلم لا يظلمه ولا يسلمه ومن كان في حاجة أخيه كان الله في حاجته ومن فرج عن مسلم كربة فرج الله عنه بها كربة أو كربة من كرب يوم القيامة ومن ستر مسلما ستره الله يوم القيامة. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, a Muslim is a brother of another Muslim. Obviously, a Muslimah is a sister of another Muslimah. And a Muslim will never ever do anything wrong or harm another Muslim. And then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, and if there's another Muslim who's in need of another Muslim, so if there's a Muslim who's in need of another Muslim, then know for a fact Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in need of his help. Which means no, what? If I need your help, that means Allah needs your help. But how does Allah need your help? Allah doesn't need your help in any way or form. But when a Muslim is in need of your help, now that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him to you, now that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that sent him to you, and Allah azza wa jalla wants you to help this person. So that's where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs your help. Like the other hadith, when Allah azza wa jalla brings forth one of his servants, and Allah azza wa jalla says to him, oh my servant, I was hungry, you didn't feed me. So he says, Ya Allah, how is it possible that you're hungry? And you are the Lord of the universe, you're the one that feeds everyone. So Allah azza wa jalla says, one of my servants was hungry and he didn't feed him. Didn't you know that if you fed him, I would have been there? Or my servant, I was thirsty and he didn't give me water. So he says, Ya Allah, how is it possible that you are thirsty and you are the Lord of the universe? You are the one that gives water and you are the one that quenches the thirst of everyone. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says to him, oh my servant, one of my servants was thirsty. One of my servants was thirsty and he didn't give him water. If he gave him water, I would have been there. Oh my servant, I was ill and he didn't visit me. I was ill and he didn't even visit me. So he says, Ya Allah, how is it possible for you to be ill and you are the Lord of the universe? Allah Azza says to him, oh my servant, one of my other servants was ill and he didn't visit him. If you visited him, you would have found me there. So when a servant of Allah Azza wa Jalla is in your need, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in your need. And then the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, and whoever relieves another Muslim of his trouble, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will relieve this person from the troubles of the hereafter. So when you help someone in this dunya, Allah will help you in the hereafter. When you support someone in this dunya, Allah will support you in the hereafter. When you alleviate a pressure upon someone in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will alleviate something from the hereafter, or one of the pressures of the hereafter. That's what the character of a believer is, supports and helps. And that's why, my brother and my sister, when you see someone that's in need of your help, know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent them to you. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla wants to help you in the hereafter. Allah wants to support you in the hereafter. And then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, وَمَنْ سَتَرَ مُسْلِمًا سَتَرَهُ اللَّهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. And whoever covers up on a Muslim in this dunya, Allah will cover up on him in the hereafter. Two things, help and cover up. And both are supporting and assisting someone. وَمَنْ نَفَّسَ عَنْ مُؤْمِنٍ كُرْبَةً مِنْ كُرْبِ يَوْمٍ من كرب الدنيا نفس الله عنه كربة من كرب يوم القيامة. And whoever removes a difficulty upon someone, upon a believer in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove one of the troubles and difficulties of the hereafter in the hereafter. Subhanallah, it's an opportunity. When you see someone in need, you help them, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you in the hereafter. When you remove a difficulty upon someone in this dunya, Allah Azza wa Jalla removes something even worse from you in the hereafter. So it's an opportunity for you to save yourself from the hellfire. And then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, وَمَنْ يَسَّرَ عَلَى مُعْسِرٍ يَسَّرَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. And if you make it easy upon someone that owes you money, so someone is indebted to you, you've given a loan to someone and this person owes you money, and you make it easy upon them, look, pay me whenever you can. If you can't now, pay later, pay in installments. You're not putting pressure upon this person so he could pay you ASAP, or as soon as he can, or putting pressure on this person to get this money in any way, or any form. Because you made it easy upon this person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy upon you in the hereafter. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam relates to us a story about a man that entered the paradise for nothing more than that this person used to give a loan to people and used to say to them, pay it off whenever you can. Pay back the loan whenever you can. Make it easy upon those who owe you money. Make it easy upon those who owe you money. Subhanallah. It's also a character of a mu'min. Not always on the top of people. And that's why Islam forbids any form of usury or any form of interest. Why? Because you make it hard upon those people already in difficulty. You make it hard upon people already in hardship. So the character of the mu'min, that he makes it easy and not makes it hard. وَمَنْ يَسَّرَ عَلَى مُعْسِرٍ يَسَّرَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. And if you make it easy upon someone in this dunya, Allah Azza wa Jalla will make it easy upon you in this dunya and the hereafter. So one day you'll be in the same scenario, one day you'll be in the same position as this person. Allah will make it easy upon you. وَمَنْ سَتَرَ مُسْلِمًا سَتَرَهُ اللَّهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. And whoever covers up on a Muslim in this dunya, Allah will cover up on him in this dunya and the hereafter. Subhanallah. So not only that you're doing them a favor, you're doing yourself a favor. When you help someone, you're helping yourself. When you cover upon someone, you are covering upon yourself. When you make it easy upon someone, you make it easy upon yourself. At the end of the day, you are the one that's going to get the best payback of this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from this human being. And for that, it's very important to learn and to know that when you see situations like that, know that this situation is a test from Allah Azza wa Jalla upon you. Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to test you to see what you do when you know about other people or you know the faults of other people. Subhanallah, some people can't keep their mouth quiet. Some people can't keep their mouth shut. They would like always to talk about everything they know about everyone. And subhanallah, it's only a matter of time where Allah Azza wa Jalla will expose them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself will disgrace them. Allah Azza wa Jalla himself will uncover up. Allah Azza wa Jalla will uncover everything on them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself will humiliate them. But subhanallah, when you cover up on other people and you do not expose other people and you keep it to yourself, you help, you support, you make it easy upon people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will pay you back. And what Allah Azza wa Jalla pays you back is by far a lot more than what you're going to get from this human being or this person. So this is the character of the mu'min, the character of the believer, a character that we all need to learn from. A character of a prophet, a character of a messenger. A character that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us all to follow. A character that we all need to have in our life. Not to be the type of person that always chats and talks and always wants to gossip and wants to know about this and that. You know, people these days, the first thing in the morning they call one another, oh, what's the news? What have you heard? What do you know? And the only reason they want to know is because they want to go and expose this person. Early in the morning, before they even pray, before they even have breakfast, the first thing they do is start calling one another, oh, what do you know about her? What do you know about him? What's the latest gossip? How many times you hear that? What's the latest gossip? Why? Not because they want to know, because they want to expose. Because that information doesn't benefit them. The latest gossip about him and her, husband and wife, the latest gossip about son and the father or daughter and mother, it's not going to benefit you. But subhanAllah, it's that illness, disease in the heart that people like to talk about other people. And sometimes we talk about people that we don't even know just because we want to talk about them. We just want to take them down, just for the sake of it. SubhanAllah. And obviously, media is very good at that. Media, they've got nothing else to do sometimes. You've got some journalists, they've got nothing else to do except to talk about other people. And sometimes you read some stories in the media or in the news, like, that's a stupid story, like what do I care about what this person did? What do I care about this story? Like what benefit did this story bring to me? But subhanAllah, just people want to talk about this person and talk about that person and take this person down and take that person down. And subhanAllah, obviously you as a Muslim, you're always in the spotlight. And the smallest of things that you do becomes the biggest of things later on. So be aware, inshaAllah, and follow the path and the footsteps of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do not fall into the sin of exposing each other or exposing other people. Support as much as you can, and know the support that you do now, inshallah, will come around later on. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us and to make us from amongst those who listen and hear and act upon what they listen.